Hello, it's Jim Hutchins for the Jerusalem Connection Spot Report. These days we're hearing a lot of talk about red lines, and it's mostly in context between Israel and the United States concerning red lines that Iran would have to cross, a line in the sand, some kind of action, some kind of activity, an event that would have to take place before military action is taken, either on the part of Israel or the part of the United States. Interestingly enough, God has red lines as well. And as you might guess, they're related to Israel and to Jerusalem. For example, God says in Zechariah chapter 12, I'm going to make Jerusalem a cup that sends all the surrounding peoples reeling. Judah will be besieged as well as Jerusalem. I will make Jerusalem an immovable rock for all nations. All who try to move it will injure themselves. On that day, I will make the leaders of Judah like a firepot in a woodpile, like a flaming torch among sheaves, and they will consume right and left all the surrounding peoples. But Jerusalem will remain intact in its place. Now that's a battle in which Israel has a stunning victory. The world sees this spectacular victory that Israel has accomplished. And we can expect the world's response to be similar to that response that it's given when Israel has won wars in the past since 1948. The wrath of the world comes down on Israel for taking advantage of the poor Arab armies. But this battle that is referred to in Zechariah chapter 12 is a magnificent victory on the part of Israel. And they're celebrating that. They celebrate that. But that's not the end. The red line of God has not been crossed. That comes in Zechariah chapter 14. There is a second battle for Jerusalem. And this is at the end. And this is what God says. A day of Yahweh is coming. I will gather all nations to Jerusalem. God is going to gather all nations to Jerusalem to fight against it. The city will be captured, the houses ransacked, and the women raped. Half of the city will go into exile, but the rest of the people will not be taken from the city. Israel is on the brink of annihilation. This is not victory. This is defeat. They're about to be wiped off the face of the map. And that's the red line that God has waited for. Interestingly enough, even Moses, as far back as Moses, he understood this. And this is what he said in Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 36. He says this, Yahweh will judge his people and have compassion on his servants. When? When he sees their strength is gone. There is no one left, slave or free. That's when God intervenes. Matter of fact, it says, God says, I will take vengeance on my adversaries. I will repay those who hate me. I will make my arrows drunk with blood, while my sword devours flesh, the blood of the slain and the captives, the heads of the enemy leaders. He says, rejoice, O nations, with his people. For he will avenge the blood of his servants. He will take vengeance on his enemies and make atonement for his land and for his people. When does he do that? When he sees that Israel is on the brink of total annihilation. In Zechariah 14 it says, verse 3, when God sees that, when that red line is crossed, he says this, then Yahweh will go out and fight against the nations as he fights in the day of battle. On that day his feet will stand on the Mount of Olives. Then my God will come and all his holy ones with him. That's the time of Messiah's ultimate intervention on behalf of Israel. There is a red line that has to be crossed. Israel must be without strength, without hope, humanly speaking, and then God intervenes. But there is another red line that God's people have to cross. The Israel of God must do this. And Jesus tells us what that is in Matthew 23, verse 39. He says, you'll not see me again until you say, Baruch haba b'shem Yahweh. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. The nation, the people will see that there is no hope in anything else. And they will cry out, Baruch haba b'shem Yahweh. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Hallelujah. I think we should begin to say that and encourage our Jewish brothers and sisters to say, Baruch haba b'shem Yahweh. Hallelujah. Till next week, Od ki yavo Shiloh, until Messiah comes, Yivareka Yahweh. Yahweh bless you.